we are starting the vlog on a Monday. Surprise, surprise, it happens. I did want to give you just like a quick start to the vlog with The Hollow Ones, which I'm currently reading by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan, which I have no idea if I'm pronouncing the name correctly, so if I don't, please excuse me. I'm German, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. But yeah, The Hollow Ones is a thriller, I think, much more than a horror book, at least up until now, I feel like. It is about an FBI agent who is on her way with her partner to investigate something, and they get to the guy's house, and the guy is killing his family with a knife, and the other FBI agent has like gone into the house a lot quicker than her, and our main character, is like coming into the house later than him, and she finds the wife and two of the kids dead, and then she finds the other FBI agent, and it seems like he is actually trying to kill the suspect. And she's like, what the fuck is going on here? What is happening? She shoots the suspect because obviously he killed his family, and she tries to save her agent because it's a really confusing situation. And then they hear that one child is still alive, and the other agent goes first to the child, tries to kill the child. She shoots the agent and saves the child, but then obviously there's an investigation, and everybody is like, oh my god, what happened? Nobody's really believing her, even though she and the girl is telling the same thing, because it's just coming out of nowhere. Like, why would the FBI agent try to kill the child and the perpetrator? And so that kind of gets into motion, this like killing spree. There's like other people starting to kill randomly, just like out of the blue with no explanation. And we also get the narration of the thing that is doing the killing, which I don't know what it is. It is a hollow one, but I don't really know what it is, but it can go into different people and then it starts killing people. And so our main character then tries to find out what on earth is happening, and she meets this old FBI agent because she's randomly told to like clean out his desk because he had a stroke. And so she goes to him to bring him his stuff, and he's like, oh my god, what happened? Will you tell me? Blah, blah, blah. And then she finds out that there might be more to it than what is seemingly happening so far. So yeah, it is definitely a supernatural thriller. It is really interesting. I just don't know where we're going and what the Hollow Ones are, other than that they can go into different humans, like kind of spirit-like. But yeah, and the main objective pretty much of the Hollow One is to get to this person, which I have forgotten the name again. What is the name of the guy? Hugo Blackwood. Which he seemed to be connected for some reason with the Hollow Ones, and the Hollow Ones want to kill him. And there are 5 Hollow Ones, and 4 are trapped, and the one is still out there. So it is something to do with that and magic and stuff like that. It is really interesting. I am really enjoying it. I am page 113, so I am pretty, like, slightly over a third of the way through. So we'll see how far I can come tomorrow. Probably not that far, because in the evening I have a talk that I'm going to. It's a talk from a German is he like a crime scene analyst or something like that? He used to do that, I think, and he has written a lot of books about like bones and insects on dead people, like what happens with that, and like different criminals and stuff like that. He's a criminologist, I think is the right word. And yeah, he does talks around Germany, and I've read a few of his books, and now we have gotten tickets to go to one of his talks tomorrow. So I'm really excited for that. I think it's gonna be really cool. It is a talk about, I think, one of his books that I read, which is insects on bodies, like on what happens with the insects, what do they do, and what stages, stuff like that, which is a really interesting topic, like kind of a morbid topic, but it is really interesting. So that is what I'm gonna do with my partner tomorrow evening. We're gonna listen to that, and hopefully it's really good, but I think it will be. So yeah, I don't know how much time I will have to read tomorrow, but we'll see. So yeah, quick little start to the vlog. I will see you tomorrow with the reading. Okay, so I didn't get around to check in yesterday, which I'm really sorry about, but like it was just a full day somehow, and so I didn't get to check in. We went to the talk yesterday evening, which was a little bit of a disappointment. Not the talk itself. The talk was actually really interesting, and the stories he told about two cases he did with people who, like, one died alone in his home, and the other one was, I think, a type of crime in like the red light of Cologne. Like, there seems to be a forest there, and the man died there. And so he talked about those cases and insects and stuff like that. It was really, really interesting. The sad thing was that kind of the organization was pretty bad, and then he had some really weird rules, which maybe I'm just too sensitive when it comes to that, but there was one rule where like you weren't supposed to leave the talk to go to the toilet or something. Like, he didn't want that because he would stop the talk when somebody stood up and went out. And so I think like whilst we were there, there was like 4 times where people went outside, and he just stopped the complete talk, and everybody was staring at the people going out, and it was really, really awkward, and it was really anxiety inducing for me because I have a fucked up stomach. Let's Like, I have stomach problems, like chronic problems, that are health problems. But like, I was pretty much sitting there really afraid that I would have to leave to go to the bathroom, and I would be the reason why he would stop the talk, and people would be really annoyed because people were making really annoyed noises at the other people. And so I had so much anxiety during the talk, so we left in the half time pause because I just couldn't take it. I couldn't. My partner felt the same, so I guess we're not, like, I'm not alone in the feeling. And we looked at the reviews that a few other people also had that problem, that they felt really uncomfortable with like how that was handled. So yeah, it was really uncomfortable. So I don't think I would do it again. Like, even though the topic was interesting and the way he talked about the stuff, and he's a really knowledgeable guy with these stuff. Like, he learned it. He's a criminal biologist. I think I talked about it wrong yesterday. So it was really interesting, but like, I felt so stressed the whole time I was there, but it really wasn't nice. I think, the people that stood up, they weren't making noise, they weren't making a fuss. Like, it was really, really, like, not even like noticeable at all. And he like stopped all talking, he paused the presentation. It was really awkward. Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, sadly, but you make experiences and stuff like that. And then also, I haven't made progress with the hollow ones yet because yesterday I was sitting downstairs with the dog, and I didn't want to go upstairs to get the hollow ones, so I just picked a book downstairs, and that means I read I think 2/3 of Deep Six by Clive Cussler yesterday, which is probably the book I will finish today. And then I can finish the Hollow Ones tomorrow, which is kind of the idea I have so far. Deep Six it's your typical Numa Files action adventure novel, with Doug Pitt as the main character, and he is on a mission to I don't even know what, but he's on a mission at the sea, and they find this boat that seems to be empty, and then there is like some chemical weapon residue, something like that. It's a poisonous gas or something, and one woman in his team who was there with him to investigate what was happening on the ship. She fell and tore her suit, and so she died because of the things there. And he's like really, really angry and wants to find out like what is happening here. Why is there an empty ship that has a bioweapon on it? And so he starts pretty much trying to find out what is happening there. And then we also have a ghost ship, which is the Eagles, and he gets pulled away from what he's originally doing, finding out what happened to his friend. And he has to investigate the ghost ship. And so he goes there, he finds a ship with like a lot of dead people on it, and some people that are abducted, but he doesn't really get to know why, because of like political stuff, which is, you know, typical Clive Cussler. But yeah, we're probably going from there, but that is pretty much the gist of the story so far. And we also have Soviet and Russians involved, so we are going back to the roots with the Russians and Dirk Pitt, I feel like. I'm pretty sure that we will end up in like a confrontation between the two. That is what typically happens if the Russians are part of a Dirk Pitt novel. But yeah, I would say it's a pretty average Dirk Pitt novel. So I'm guessing we're going to like the 3-star range, at least from like the 2/3 of the book that I've read so far. But yeah, we'll see what is going on here, what is happening in the last part of the book today, and then I will either check in with you tonight or tomorrow, depending on like how tired I am tomorrow, because obviously, like, even though we went home after the middle of the talk yesterday, we came home quite late, especially for me. I'm somebody who goes to bed quite early. So because of that, I got little sleep or like less sleep than I should have, let's be honest. And so I'm quite tired. So I don't know if I will have the energy to check in with you tonight. And I do also need to sort and build some more Lego, because I'm now actively trying to put together my childhood Lego again so I can sell it all, or like most of it pretty much. But I do want to sell it as like finished sets, because I think that makes a little bit more sense. So that is what I'm doing every evening right now, is just building Lego. I looked for an audiobook yesterday, but I couldn't find one that I wanted to listen to. Otherwise, I would have also started an audiobook. So I might just look for that tonight as well. But yeah, the goal is just to finish this one today, so I can finish the other ones tomorrow. Which would be really nice, because we have Wednesday, so that would mean I would have at least finished 2 books this week, which is kind of the goal that I would have, because I haven't really read much this like month yet. I think those are book 2 and book 3. I think I only finished 1 book now, which, you know, it's a slow but good start to the year, so that is really good. So yeah, that is where we're at right now. Also, I'm nearly finished with the first arm. It is pretty big, but yeah, I need to complete this lilac row, and then I'm done. That is like 2 rows of crocheting, and then I'm done with the first sleeve, and then I can start the second one, which is what I'm doing right now, and what I will do in tandem with reading. Like, I'm always like reading a chapter or 2, doing a little bit of crocheting, reading a chapter or 2. That's pretty much what's going on right now. Okay, let's do a quick evening check-in. It is now pretty late, but I did finish Deep 6 without spoiling much of anything. Like, it is taking the typical Clive Cussler road. I think we have like multiple kidnappings, you know, a classic in his books. I feel like it's always that somebody gets kidnapped twice, which is kind of a funny thing, but also kind of a boring thing. Only that this time around, it's not the love interest woman that gets kidnapped, but it's somebody else, which I'm not going to spoil you, because it's kind of important for the story. But yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars. It's a pretty typical Clive Cussler book. We have a bit more with the Russians, which is like also kind of typical Clive Cussler. It happens quite a bit. And yeah, I did enjoy it. They don't stand out to me, but I think they're pretty entertaining, so that is why they get 3 stars most of the time for me, because, you know, I enjoy them, but I wouldn't like go out of my way to read them. It's just that I own them all. Not all, but quite a few. From this one, I actually own 2 copies, which is like, I don't know. But yeah, it is entertaining. I think if you like action adventure novels that go slightly into the political and always have something to do with a boat or underwater things, go for the Clive Cussler series. This one is the Dirk Pitt adventure, so the Numa Files. And the Numa Files are either Dirk Pitt or Kurt Austin. Like, those 2 are the main characters. They work at the same company. So, you know, they have like one series, I think, but like it's always one or the other who's the main character, and they are pretty similar to one another, the guys. But yeah, it was entertaining. I finished it, which is good. That means I can continue with the Hollow Ones tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. I will go to bed now. I'm really tired, but I did want to finish that one and give you a quick little update. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow, probably afternoon, once I have made some progress with the Hollow Ones. Okay, let's talk about the Hollow Ones. I finished it this afternoon. It is, I think, 4 o'clock now. But yeah, I finished it right after work. Like, I got to reading, and I think it took me like an hour and a half to finish it. It is actually quite a quick read. I think I had a little bit of a dip in the middle, which I think the pause, like the 2-day pause where I read Deep Six, actually was really good for me. And then I could read the rest of the book in like one swoop, which worked out really well. I gave it 4 stars. I like it. I had a few problems with it, but I don't know if they are really problems or just like things that were wanted by the authors. So I'm not really sure which is it. So one thing I felt like it kind of felt a little bit like a TV series episode from like a crime TV show, like, you know, like one of those like supernatural crime shows. This one felt a little bit like that. So I'm not sure if like, I mean, both of the authors are also TV writers, so that might be the reason for it. Or it is just the style of book and that it is supposed to be like that. But yeah, I don't know why, but like it felt like this would be ideal as a TV show, which, you know, I would love to see this as a TV show. I think it would really, really work well. But for me, it kind of read like a novelization of a TV show, which I don't think that this is. I think this is just a book, you know. So I'm not totally sure if that is just a me thing and how I read it, or if it's how the book is written, and maybe that was the thought behind the book. So I'm not quite sure what like the complete thing is for that. Yeah, so that was one thing that I quickly like realized while reading it. And then the second one, I don't know. I think for me personally, we get 3 times for each of our like main investigators. We get like one of their like main times. So we have Odessa, which is like the present. Then we have Solomon, which is like he lived through like the racist Ku Klux Klan parts of America, like that times, and we get that from him. And then we get the 1500s for Blackwood, who's our third character, who's the kind of immortal being, cursed guy who is like the not really a savior, but like he's the main character that brings all together. So we get all 3 of their times, but I felt like from like the writing point, they weren't distinct enough the times. So if I wouldn't have written atop the date, which we are right now, like there are slight differences and slight mentions of stuff that you would see typical in the time, but other than that, there wasn't really a distinction between the times. It felt really samey to me personally, so I would have loved a little bit more distinction between like the times and like a little bit more obvious change between the times. But I think that is like pretty much just a me problem. I don't think that it's really that much of a critique. But yeah, other than that, I had like a slight interest dip in the middle, which is why I gave it 4 stars. I really like the story. I like the concept of the story. I do think this is a series that will continue because it is standing by Goodreads. It says like what series 1 or something like that. I don't know. I might need to look it up. What the series name is. I'm gonna put the series name here. But yeah, it has a series name on Goodreads, so there might be more books coming from this one, which I would actually really like. And there are 2 ways I think the story could go. Like, on one way, we could get the tape stories, which if you've read the book, you will know what I mean. Or we could get more of Odessa. I think there are like both ways to go, or maybe they are combined, but I could really see the book going in both directions. So I don't, I would be fine with either of the directions. But yeah, I really liked it. I think It's a good supernatural crime thriller kind of thing. I like the characters. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to critique about it other than the things I've said already. But yeah, that means I finished 2 books this week already, which I'm really happy about, and it is Thursday. So I will start the next book tomorrow. I have no idea what yet, so you will see that tomorrow. Other than that, I finished the first sleeve yesterday, and I started the second sleeve. So that is what I'm working on. That is what I will continue with now. Also, it's snowing the whole day already. Sadly, it's not staying on like the walkways and stuff. It's only staying on the grass. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that it's snowing. I really like it. So yeah, that is kind of the day it has been. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just crocheting, I think, the rest of the afternoon, and then in the evening I will do Lego sorting and Lego building because I really need to get through that, and I'm on a roll at the moment this week, so I think I will get a little bit of that done. I'm still looking for an audiobook. I still haven't found one I want to listen to. I tried listening to Aragon, but I don't think I like it as an audiobook. I think I will need to read that. And like, I don't know, I might need to get the ebook from my library. I think that is the way to go. But I first want to get more of my physical TBR read before I lend myself some ebooks. So that is the plan for that going forward. But yeah, I do need to find a new audiobook. I don't think I'm having a hard time choosing ones. Like, I'm starting them, putting them away again a lot. And obviously, I never talk about these books because it's just not fair, because I don't enjoy the voice, for example. But it makes it hard choosing audiobooks. But yeah, that is kind of all for the day. We'll see what book I choose. I will read next. I don't have any idea in my head right now, so we'll see. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow with the book that I will choose. And yeah, I hope your reading week is going as well as mine. Okay, it is now Saturday. I don't know why, but I'm really, really tired today. It is really weird. Let's do final check-in of the vlog. I didn't know how to talk about this book. It is a DNF. I read it yesterday and I tried to continue today, and I just can't get into it. It is my second try as well. And that is Fathomfall by Elisa Chan, which this book looks so good. Like, I really, really love the design of the book. It is so pretty. Like, don't get me wrong, this looks like incredible. I love this version of the book, but I just cannot get into the book. It is about pretty much like we have one big city, and like up top live the more like normal folk, and then underwater live the merfolk, and they kind of have a strange relationship. And then our main character is like half, and she trains or is part of the city guard. And we have quite a few different characters. Pretty much none of them stuck, you know? None of them left any impression while reading the book. And to be honest, the book reads so young, even though I think our main characters are adults already. Yeah, but it reads like so young. I don't know. I cannot get into it, and I don't really know how to describe it, because it sounds so silly to me, you know, to not be able to get into like a pretty generic fantasy, in my opinion, because the gist of the story is pretty generic, with the problems between the races and you know, exploitation. And we have also like water, not distraction, but like oh, what is the English word for it? In German, it's Verschmutzung. Like that they have dirtied the water, with which the merfolk is living in, and that has gotten problems. You know, it's pretty much like a problem of like not treating the other ones well, and like, at least from the beginning, it's seeming that like the folk that live up top are treating the merfolk really badly, and not the other way around, which I don't really know how it is. Also, there's something with dragons. I think our main character is like part of the dragon family or something like that. At least there is like a dragon family in there. But I don't know. The book feels so immature and young, and just not enjoyable for me personally, that yeah, I'm DNFing it. I just cannot get through it. It has ruined my reading for the last 2 days, and I'm not willing to give it any more time. And it is already my second try to get through it, so I am giving it up. I don't think there's any sense in trying to continue with this. And so yeah, the one Illumicrate book I read this month was a DNF, which great start to getting through my books that are coming from book boxes. I DNF'd the first one, but I just don't think that's any reason for me to continue with this, because I'm just not enjoying it. Like, I get, like, there are probably a lot of people out there that would enjoy this. I feel like it's just a really, really young fantasy that tries to get you into like kind of political topics, just like disguised as fantasy, which I don't think is wrong. I think that's actually really sensible to do. I just don't think that this is an adult novel, even though the main characters are adults. So yeah, sad for me, to be honest, because I would have loved to like this. I just don't. Yeah, and that is pretty much where we are ending the vlog. I'm not quite finished with my crochet sweater. I have like, I think 4 times 4 rows left. So 16 rows left that I need to do, and then I can finish it. So you will see the finished sweater or like top in next week's vlog. So, you know, I'm sorry I didn't finish it this week. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here because the room like behind you is so chaotic. I'm still sorting the Lego. I'm making really good progress. As you can see, I have these zipper bags in the back. Those are all finished, like completed Lego sets that I only need to clean, and then I can sell them, which is great. But yeah, it's taking over my room. I need to finish going through the Lego and sorting through all of them because I want to get rid of it. So I have my space bag from the Lego. And to be honest, like the older Lego sets aren't always the prettiest. At first, I thought I might want to just keep some of them, but I personally prefer the look of the newer Lego sets, if I'm honest. So yeah, I probably won't keep a lot, if any. So yeah, I need to get through that. But yeah, that is pretty much the end of my week. To have a really good next read, I will read the next David Eddings books, which is the orange one up there. So I will continue the Malorian series, I think, yes. I will read the second part because the first one was 5 stars, so I'm pretty sure the next one will also be kind of 4 or 5 stars, pretty sure around there. So it will be a good read, so I will continue with that one tomorrow, and then I will check in with you on Monday, and we'll see how the book started and how it's going. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this week's vlog, which like had like a really good start reading and then a DNF. And yeah, hopefully your reading was actually great as well. And I hope I will see you in the next video.